Hello guys, this is another Beatles fan and we're back. This is a different video. I've never done a video like this, a tier list. So that's what this video is about, is a tier list of Paul McCartney album covers. And I'm super excited because Paul is coming to my city next weekend really. And I'm super excited. I'm gonna watch 3 of his concerts here in Brazil. So I'm totally on Paul mode. 100%. I've been listening to a lot of his songs and a lot of his albums, and I'm gonna do a tier list of his albums too. But to be honest, I gotta listen to some of them more so I can properly rank them, like Broad Street and Driving Rain. It's been a while since I haven't listened to them, so I gotta do that before. Right, but today we're gonna talk about album covers, and let's get right into it. We have 5 tiers here: legendary, maximum of 5, maybe 5 is too much, beautiful, good, meh, and bad. So I'm gonna put his covers on here. Please let me know what you think. I love album covers. I think they give albums new dimension, and they're super important for me, at least when it comes to thinking of an album. When I think of an album, the first thing I think about is probably the album cover. So I think it's such an important part of the whole album as an art piece, right? Anyway, let's get right into it. This is Paul McCartney's first solo album, McCartney. It's got Linda's photo, and you know what? I'm gonna put this in beautiful. I think legendary maybe. Let's put a maximum of 3, okay? A maximum of 5 is too much. This is beautiful. Simply put, it's Linda's photo. It makes it's such a different kind of photo, and it's so artistic, and I love it. Ram, it's one of my favorite albums, but the cover is meh. I don't like it that much. I like the kind of homemade vibe it has, like a collage of a family album, you know. But it's meh. It's fine. Actually, no, I'm gonna put it at good, because although I do think that it's not the best album cover out there, I think it's kind of ugly, but it does really paint you a good picture of what the album is, really. And that's the same thing as Wildlife. I think it gives you that vibe of the album, that you're gonna listen to it and you're gonna notice that the album cover represents pretty well the image of the vibe of the album. And Wildlife, first Wings album, I'd put it at good too. I think it's a decent photo of the band, really bucolic, right? This is the first bad album cover, I'd say. I don't want to be too harsh here, but I also want to be fair. And to be fair, Red Rose Speedway is a terrible album cover. I think it's ugly, and I think it's kind of got a pop art feel to it, especially on the label of the record. But I don't know. I think it doesn't match with the songs and the vibe of the track of the album, and the vibe of the tracks, right? And here we got the first legendary one, Band on the Run. Of course, albums have a tendency, album covers have a tendency to go along with the albums. So if the album is bad, then probably the cover will be too. Or if the album is fine, the album cover may elevate it. But in this case, I think it's a great record and a great cover. It's Band on the Run, right? And they're kind of in the spotlight. The policeman have found them or whatever. I think it's so cool. It's got a lot of people that kind of like Sgt. Pepper, random people, and I think that's awesome too. I love it. Wings of the Speed of Sound. I'm almost putting it at bad, but I don't think it's as bad as Red Rose Speedway, to be honest. So I'm gonna put it in meh. I don't care for this cover at all. Venus and Mars, I think is beautiful. And just for you guys to know, from left to right is the one I prefer the most. So Ram for me is better than Wildlife. McCartney one is better than Venus and Mars. But I do think that Venus and Mars is great. I really dig that spacey vibe, and it's Venus and Mars, but they're pool balls too, so it's fun, right? And I just love it. I think it represents the well the songs, right? Especially the song Venus and Mars. Um, about London Town, I'm not quite sure, to be honest. It could go to meh, but I think it's better than At the Speed of Sound, so I'm gonna put it here. It's a fine picture of the three of them, but it's not that inspiring. And I always say that. I've said that for maybe all album covers, but I think it doesn't represent the songs too well. I think it's okay. I love London Town, but I think it's okay. Back to the Egg, I think it's cool. It's good. Kind of has that spacey, kind of otherworldly vibe that Back to the Egg has. With the opener, We're Open Tonight, for example, gives you that vibe, like you're tuning in to different stations from Earth. I kind of have that image with Back to the Egg. McCartney 2, I think it's beautiful. Not beautiful per se, but I think it's so cool. I'm gonna put it above Venus and Mars. I love that picture by Linda, I think, and it just I don't know exactly why I love it, but I love it. I can't put my finger on it, to be honest. But it's beautiful. It's there. Now we have Tug of War. I gotta tell you, man, this is legendary for me. This is great artwork. I think it's Paul in the studio listening to his headphones, and we gotta know the context. John had been killed, and it's the first Paul McCartney solo album that after he was killed. So it's got that huge feeling and importance to it. And Paul looks kind of sad at the same time as he looks um, simply. I don't know how to put that, to be honest. I'm trying to think of a good image here, but I love it. I love the blue and red. It contrasts well. The label also has that blue and red playing thing to it. I think it's so cool. And my girlfriend, for example, doesn't like this cover. She thinks it's bad. But as a we gotta think it's the 1980s, right? Thinking about the context, I think it looks pretty rad. And it's an album cover that pops and makes you wonder what the songs sound like, and I think that's really important too. Pipes of Peace, yeah, that's just bad. I'm sorry. That's even worse than Red Rose Speedway. When you open up the gatefold, Paul is holding on to this ocarina thing, and I don't understand this album cover too much. So I think it's bad. Broad Street is also terrible. What the hell is this guy? Don't like it. Yeah, now we're kind of getting into some really bad Mecha covers territory, because I think um, Press to Play is meh. I don't think it's bad, but I think it's meh. I think it's a great photo by Paul and Linda, of Paul and Linda. I'm sorry, just isn't that appealing to me, at least. We have Back in the USSR, right? I'm not even gonna try to say the Russian name, and yeah, it's not bad. It's meh again. but I think it's better than Press to Play, right? I think it's okay. Kind of has that Russian vibe aesthetic. Flowers in the Dirt. I was just listening to this album on vinyl, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's up there with McCartney 1. I love it, especially on vinyl. It looks great, the colors pop, and it's so 80s, it's so Paul McCartney dad rock, and yeah, I do love it. Off the Ground is maybe his worst. I don't know if I'd put it after or before Broad Street, but both of them are so bad. Off the Ground with the Feet, what the hell, man? I don't like it. And I'm not a huge fan of the album either. Flaming Pie, oh man, I just love this. This is a great album. This is the last album Paul released before Linda's death, and it's just Paul in this great picture. Looks like he's playing something on the guitar, kind of looking at the fretboard, and at the same time, he's got his guard down. That's what I feel about this picture. It's him being Paul McCartney, the guy, not Paul McCartney, the legendary artist. And I love it. I think it's beautiful. I would um, put it here. I think after McCartney 2. I think it looks great. I'm not gonna do the Family Way, by the way. Run Devil Run is an album where Paul sings old tunes like rock or rockabilly tunes, and this makes sense, this cover, but at the same time it's kind of meh, kind of pointless. I'd say it. I don't care for it that much. Driving Rain, if I'm not mistaken, is a picture taken on his small phone at the time, the phones, the flip phones, and I just really like that. I'm not a huge fan of the album. Again, I gotta listen to it again. I'm not so used to it, but I think it's so cool. I'm gonna put it right here. So McCartney 2 and Venus and Mars kind of went a little bit down, just because Flaming Pie and Driving Rain, I feel like they have the same quality of being Paul the guy, not Paul the artist. So I think it looks really cool. And here we have the next legendary album cover. To me, is better than Tug of War, and it's Chaos and Creation in the Backyard, and it's one of my favorite albums. And again, this is Paul, the guy before he was a Beatle, right? Or maybe at the beginning of the Beatles blowing up. It's him, really young, playing his guitar in his house, and it's such an introspective album. I think it's the album where Paul is his it's his most personal work, I believe. He talks a lot about himself in it, which is something that he doesn't always do. He likes to write about people and places, but not on here. He talks about most of the songs, actually, he talks about him and his insecurities and his crumbling relationship with model Heather Mills. So it's a great album, really. And Memory Almost Full, I think it's okay, but I would put it at meh. Would put it here, maybe. I love the album, but this artwork just doesn't make sense. It's a chair, and Memory Almost Full is such a good name for a record. I believe it was because Paul, again, on his flip phone or his cell phone at the time, he received Memory Almost Full warnings. His memory was almost running out, and so he liked that idea, because in this album he kind of points, in especially the end of the end, where he points out that yeah, he's getting old, and so that's a play of words with Memory Almost Full. We have here Electric Arguments by the Fireman. I think this is good. I think this belongs here. Kisses on the Bottom, I really like that album, but I think it's an okay cover. I don't understand this square rectangle thingy here. Don't understand what that means really. New, I think it's an album cover that does represent what's inside. Um, and I'd say it's good. I'd put it here, but I'd put it here. Not this version, the deluxe edition, where it's purple. I like that version way more than this one. The cover, I say. Now the last two of them. Egypt Station. I think it's okay. It's a painting by Paul himself, and it's got a lot of information. I put it in meh, but there's all of the different stamps for the songs that also came out during the album, and I think that looks great. So the whole package, the art package, makes it good for me, not meh. And top it off, McCartney 3. I love it. I simply love it. But I'm sorry, that's a bad album cover. Put it right here. Um, Along with Red Rose Speedway and Pipes of Peace. I'm sorry, I love it, and I've gotten used to it. I don't think it's that bad anymore. But let's compare it with Now and Then. Now and Then's cover, the blue one, when I first looked at it, I thought, no way the cover is this piece of shit. It's terrible. I don't like it. But kind of grew on me, actually. And the song grew on me, and the cover. This one didn't, though. The album is great. This is just bad looking. I think the table, the white table, and the black background, they don't match. So that's it. Yeah, and I gotta tell you something. I'm gonna make something here. I'm gonna switch off McCartney 1 with Tug of War. I think McCartney 1 is more legendary because it's his first album, and it's just a beautiful picture by Linda, and we all love Linda. So let's give her this tribute, shall we? Anyway, guys, I hope you liked it. It was a quicker video. I kind of rushed it here, but just to give you my opinions on Paul McCartney covers, right? Hope you enjoyed it again. Please let me know what's your favorite Paul McCartney covers down here. And actually, oh man.